Oh my god, I'm on camera again. Shit. So, welcome once again to Frustrated Players Corner. Let's talk about some Dents. Let's talk about Dents. Let's talk about the last session of Dents, the Faceless Man. Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good session, and I think it was a pretty awesome fight. I really thought like, we're gonna die. We're gonna fucking die. There's no way we're gonna make it out of this alive. And we lived. We lived like literally, barely. Doug dropped all of his ag. He's got no ag left. He's like taking 10 ag. I guess fortunate that Malmoto has has like kind of a little, doesn't necessarily kill you. I think, again, it's been a long time since I played World of Darkness, since we started playing Dents. I think, like, from the rulebook itself, you hit 0, you hit like your full ag amount, you're dead. So I think he does like ag +1/+1 or something like that. So I think it's like you can take 2 more. So it's kind of like the Dungeons & Dragons D20 -10 rule, or like, you know, some characters have like, I think like I want to say like Urban Arcana it depends on your Constitution score. You can go that far below 0 and still be alive, but you're bleeding to death. So I think it's kind of like that. But yeah, so fortunate for that. Well, it's like also too like how the Tarrasque, you know, you gotta bring it to -30 and then wish it to stay dead. It's a similar thing. So that was pretty epic. It was a pretty epic fight, and I think the main thing I really want to say in this video is I think what we've learned here today is, at least when you're playing World of Darkness, Molotov Cocktails should be standard equipment. It's just, I don't think anybody should be surprised where it's like, oh, big scary monster, Molotov Cocktail. You had that on? Yeah. It's up my ass. Just up my ass, just like a freaking liquor bottle with a freaking like newspaper stuck in it. Because, yeah, and it's like, you know, I had the thought, I was expecting, again, the whole point of this whole show, this series, is to talk more about my feelings about the games we've had, especially when I'm playing them. I would do a Frustrated DM's Corner, but we haven't run Metal Chronicles in a while, and I don't know, I don't have I probably could dig up an old story of a game I've ran that didn't go too well, or something frustrating happened in it, but I don't really have one right now. So, like, right now, let's talk about the games I'm playing. Yeah, I mean, the main takeaway is, like, I remember from, like, Vampire, okay, you want to damage a vampire, you want to deal a lot of damage to them, fire. Ag. Fire does ag damage. That's like that is a straight up World of Darkness Darkness thing. Fire equals ag damage. So it's like, yeah, nothing's worse. And even in the midst of the fight, it was, I gotta say, while fighting the Faceless Man, I was thinking to myself, it's like, alright. I was thinking kind of in D20 terms, it's like, okay, if I run past it to get to my tote bag with the Molotov cocktails in it, it's gonna attack me. Because, attack of opportunity. I got D20 stuck in my brain. It's like, oh, it's in a threatened space. It's got a threatened space. This thing's got reach, too. It can hit me at 10, like, and I'm thinking, like, doesn't really matter in Storyteller, but I'm thinking that way. But, yeah, Molotov, I mean, like, this thing's, like, taking bullets like candy. I bet you anything. I don't know, Mamoto actually offered to do this for me afterwards, to, like, kind of show me the stats of this thing, or, like, the stats of what he's doing on his side. But I just guaranteed this fucking monster had, like, some kind of stats that were, like, you know, like, bullets deal bashing damage to it, because it's like, he's getting shot, and he's like, nothing, and it's like, it's doing something. It's got to be doing something. But it's like, it's just like, it's shrugging him off. It's like $10. It, like, had some, like, had a higher defense, had, like, an higher armor rating, something like that, but it's like, I could tell the bullets were hurting it, but not enough, so it's like, alright, that's it. Molotov Cocktail. Boom. And, they worked really effectively. I thought that was the thing. What I was expecting to happen was, I wasn't expecting Faceless Monster posing as Eddie, which Doug ran into. I was expecting super angle cops in those black cars, and so my mindset was like, all right, like, let me see if I could use my contacts to get, like, a biker gang or some people with guns to help me out and, like, bring an army with me, which of course is like, no, I've got one in each contact, so that's not going to work. But, like, all right, get some Molotov cocktails. Get the Molotov cocktails right up on the motorcycle, drop them on the cars. I don't care how powerful these things are. I don't care how much they can kill you with their thoughts, like, you know, from a distance. It's like, you know, you hit them with that, and they're, like, you know, they will take ag damage. They will take damage from that. So that turned out to be the smartest thing I did the entire night. Yeah, I think, like, Molotov Cocktail is going to be standard equipment. And it was like, yeah, I seriously thought, like, man, we're going to die. There is no way we can beat this thing. This thing is way more powerful than us. Doug almost died. My God. Oof. It's like, apparently that's what was happening to him. I'll talk about Doug in a minute. One regret is, like, okay, so Malmoto and I got into a fight in the middle of it. I think we were just frustrated. I was complaining about the water thing, and I think where that was coming from was I wasn't trying to. We talked about it afterwards, and it's like, because I felt bad and it's embarrassing, and it's for all the world to see. It's all the world to see. See Eddie, the Dread Pirate, be a dick to his friend, and see his friend have a spat. Look, mommy, like daddy punched mommy. Great, nice and uncomfortable. So it's like, it's the bee incident from Lord Cat's stream all over again. It's I feel like Spoonie. I just gotta leave and never talk to Chris Larias again. But whatever. It was. I think what was going on was, like, I was a little frustrated about the whole water thing, which I'll get into in a minute. I mean, what can you do? But, like, I was a little frustrated by that, but also, like, my roll sucked. I was out of willpower, so I was just kind of complaining. I know that's annoying. It's just I'm not trying to be a dick, but it's just something I do. It's just like I'm whining. I'm just kind of like well, I can't. I don't know. I'm not trying to do it maliciously, but I'm just doing it, But I got on his nerves, I think, because it was like I talk too much, and it's like sometimes hard to get a word in. So he was getting frustrated, and then I thought he was insulting me, and then so it's like, all right, I could just not play, and then I'll go ahead and leave, and yeah. So we yelled at each other, and it felt bad. It felt like there was kind of like an elephant in the room after that point. So, but we talked it out, and it worked out. It's okay. I mean, we're friends, and we're not gonna, we're friends. It's a game. It's not worth it. But I mean, it happens, and I think I feel like this is the thing, and maybe this is just me, and maybe this is my own lack of maturity. But it's like when it comes to role playing games, I get really into them, and so like at the time, there's a tendency to take them too seriously, and it's like, and I think it happens to everybody. There's always like an argument at the table at a certain point. So that kind of sucked, but we talked it out. We're good, and it's like I went back and listened to it again. And I was still having fun, even though I was kind of annoyed about that. And then listening back to it, it's a pretty kick-ass fight. So I think overall it worked out. About the water thing. Okay. Part of the reason I was frustrated about that was we made this whole point to it. It was like, okay, she felt some kind of weird intuition, like gently nudging her. I felt like that was a plot point that was going to be more important. And it probably will be eventually. He told me some stuff like outside of the game after I made my first frustrated DM's corner where I was complaining about Janos, and I detailed my plan of what I was going to do. He told me some other stuff prior to him watching that, where he gave me information about what direction he plans on taking my character with. And this is the thing. This is the thing about me. I have this thing where I'm immune to spoilers. Like, you can spoil anything for me, and I won't care, because to me it's not the same as actually experiencing it. So like, you could spoil a movie for me. You could totally ruin, like, a movie for me. Snape kills Dumbledore. You could do that. I don't care, because it doesn't change. It's not the same as actually watching it. So, actually watching it and basically, seeing it. And I'm one of those assholes, too, when I'm, like, reading a book that, like, I just want to know what happens. And it's like, oh, what happens to me? I am one of those dickheads who will, like, go to the back of a book and read what happens. Because, same thing, it's not the same as actually reading it. Like, once you actually take the time to read it, and go on the journey, you still find enjoyment in it. So, I mean, I still feel like... So you can't ruin this for me. And, Josh, my other friend, who refuses to play with us because he's embarrassed, and it's like, come on, sir, you want to start a YouTube channel, too. Come on, Josh. You can hear... I know you watch this. Come on, dude. Join me. I'll be your first troll. I will. I will. Come on. Anyway. He, like, when we were playing games back in like high school and college, he would we would start talking about it because I got really into his games, and I would just like get him like, no, tell me what you're playing, tell me what you're planning, and like he would tell me like the whole larger story he's got going, and it would just get me more excited. It would get me more excited about it. So Mamoru is doing something similar. He told me a little bit about what he has planned. So I kind of felt like, okay, this is going to be a big story moment. It's going to be a big story moment. Maybe I'll get some powers out of it and I can use it. And I felt like, okay, it's going to be all right. It's going to be okay. We're going to do this. It's like, and all I have to do is walk into the water at night. And again, this might just be a little bit of my own personality kind of coming out here. But I had never at any point envisioned that Shell was, for whatever reason, Shell. They keep calling her Shell. It really, it looks like that, but it's pronounced Shelly. I meant to be, it's Shelly, even though it's not. It should be an SH, whatever. I always imagined that Shelly was didn't have any particular opinion about the water one way or another. She had no phobia of the sea. She had no accentuous love of the sea. Just kind of just water. And it turns out water's actually super important to her backstory. If you think about it, it kind of is. It's like, again, what we know in her backstory is that she was born on a ship, allegedly going through the Bermuda Triangle. And then she's had those weird visions, those weird kind of night terrors or fever dreams where she imagined herself kind of surfacing out of something, out of a cold blue depth. And, but she has no memory of it at this point. But so water actually is super important to her. And me personally, no, going into the beach at night is not scary to me. Because I've been around the water my entire life. I do live here in Tampa. I love swimming. My family and I are into scuba diving. You know, we're really into diving. And I've done night dives. I've done night diving before. And now, mind you, with a night dive, you bring a flashlight. You know, you do. You don't just dive. You don't just go like, I'm going. You just don't put a tank on and walk out of the ocean and look at nothing, because that is dangerous and also boring. So, and I can totally understand how someone would be scared of that. It's really easy to get disoriented and lose not know where up or down is at night when you're in the ocean. But it's like, yeah, I mean, I just, like, me personally, that's not scary to me. Like, walking in the water or swimming at night is not scary, although maybe I could understand how it should be, or in certain places. Like, okay, for example, I'm not going to go swimming in a swamp at night. I ain't doing that. We got gators down here. We got gators and water moccasins. Okay, no, that shit scares me. The reptiles, yeah. But also the whole thing's with sharks. Sharks are like, you know, sharks can be dangerous, but it's like they're not, like sharks are like, sharks typically, like, don't attack humans. It's like shark bites are exceedingly rare. They bite like 2 or 3 people a year. Of course, when they do, and typically, like, most often when sharks bite people, it's like it's typically because, like, they don't have the best eyesight and they're looking up at the surface, and you see, like, surfers out there. A surfer's arms reaching out on the board looks like a seal, and that looks like something they're normally used to eating, so they'll go up and bite us. And of course, you know, the person being bitten, you know, that's a big deal. That's a serious injury, and so the person doesn't take it well. But it's not. They're very rare. And on top of that, it's like, again, humans are not. We are so alien to a shark's environment that sharks just, like, when sharks see scuba divers, their attitude towards us is kind of our attitude toward them. And they're like, the fuck's that? Fuck is that thing over there with the big tank on its back? Like, stupid. They don't like anything that they naturally eat. So a shark typically gives us a wide berth. And we typically give a shark a wide berth. Like, with divers, it's a little bit different. It depends on how brave the diver is. It's like a diver be like, ooh, cool, a shark. Let's keep our distance from it because it's still a shark. It depends. But, like, yeah, there are all different types of shark dives you can go on. The exceptions are, it depends on how aggressive the shark is or how hungry it is. Like, I believe great whites will attack a human. You don't want to be scuba diving around a great white unless you're in a cage, and even then, you know, I think makos are pretty aggressive, and like, you gotta, and again, being stuff like tiger sharks, things like, the bigger the shark it is, it's like you gotta be careful. But I mean, it's as marine biologist Eugenie Clark said, it's like, you know, people would ask her, what do I do see if I see a shark in the water? It's like, well, it's like the same thing of asking, like, what do you see a car driving down the street? It's like, you know, there's no reason to cross the other side of the street, or there's no reason to worry about a car driving around the street. Occasionally a car skids off the road and hits a pedestrian, but I mean, it's a normal occurrence. So I mean, and that's the thing. So I mean, me personally, I don't have any phobia about the water. And the more I think about it, like, okay, she's looking at the sea, it's having a calming effect on her, and on top of that, the more I thought about it, well, you know, Shelley might have some kind of positive connection with the sea. She's a Floridian. She probably likes the beach. Probably likes to swim every now and then. It's like, you know, maybe, yeah. And again, given her secret origin, which will be revealed, she may have a stronger connection to it. So it was like, so that was kind of irritating. Like suddenly being afraid of it, and it was like, but I get what he's trying to do, and we were talking about it. It's like, it's kind of a ritual that's going on, and part of the way, I don't know, it felt like I was like trying to make her less skittish. It's like, you know, I was trying to make her less skittish given what had happened. I figured, like, after the ritual with the Bruja, she was becoming braver, and maybe I still have, like, I have her like a little on my character sheet. I've got a little thing about her alignment, which is I took from D20, just neutral. And I was thinking about making her more heroic, given the circumstances. Like, she really does want to save Eddie. She really wants to save her friend at the tattoo parlor because she feels guilty getting him into this situation, and she owes him. So I was thinking about, like, I'm going to make her more heroic. Okay, so continuing on. It was down to, like, the end of the night, and Eddie was going to die, and I basically realized, like, okay, given the way this is working out, she's getting freaked out by the water. There's no way she's going to be able to actually, it's down to a chance roll. It's down to a chance roll on whether or not she actually successfully is able to get into the water, and this process will continue. And it's like, that's a 1 in 10 shot, and then Eddie's going to die. So it's just like, yeah, tactically, that's the stupid choice. So I was kind of annoyed. It was like, all right, well, no, fuck this. It's ridiculous. I don't know. It just seemed a little ridiculous because it was like, okay, you're telling me I can't just go into the water, you know? And it was like, when especially that's what I want to do. So I don't know. It was a little ridiculous to me, and it felt like, all right, we're kind of. It felt annoying because it's like we set up this plot point, and then it doesn't go anywhere, and I think largely due to the rolls. Like, it felt like something like, it's just like, all right, I should just be able to get into the water and whatever, it's done. But yeah, it was a matter of the rolls, and I feel like, okay, it was a little annoying going through it. Looking back, though, it's like, okay, story wise, it's like, okay, all right, this is a challenge too. It's like she's, for whatever reason, she's getting apprehensive about this. She's kind of getting freaked out about this. Maybe it was the tension of the situation that she's running out of time. We don't have time for this right now. And maybe the fact that she's kind of uneasy about the water works out. It's like, I like looking back story-wise, I think it works out just fine. But like at the time, it was just kind of, I don't know. It was a little frustrating because it was like I was all like, I said, all right, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? And then, no, you're too scared. You have 2 more opportunities, and it's a chance roll. Otherwise, your friend's gonna die. I was like, oh. That was annoying. But it was like, I felt like, yeah, combat-wise, it was like, this was pretty fun. I felt like I was better prepared this time. I had my weapons, and I feel like I got a pretty good loadout. And I feel like the weapons I initially purchased, would be the Winchester, the Walther BBK, and the Bowie knife are a good set. And it's just like, all right, but now the only thing I had to do is, like, I have a new sidearm. I added a new sidearm, which I'm going to bring to every single fight if I can, which is going to be Molotov Cocktails. It's just like, this is going to be, Shelly is going to set aside money in her budget just for liquor bottles and newspapers, so I can use Molotov Cocktails, because damn, they're effective. So anyway, that concludes this episode of Frustrated Players Corner, and yeah. So there we go. So that's my feelings about the game, and yeah, I'll see y'all next time when I got something I want to talk about, or next game we do. So this is the Dread Pirate. You know, keep sailing. So see y'all later.